You're watching the Green Machine Live, your home for Irish football news and nostalgia. And on tonight's programme, we're going to be talking about Sammy Szmodics. He's back in the squad, finally. Also, speaking of the squad, we're going to be going through how every player got on over the weekend and this season to date. And also, the Euro 2028 bid is due to be ratified tomorrow by UEFA. What legacy is that going to leave for Irish grassroots football or Irish domestic football, if any? All this and more coming up on tonight's Green Machine. That was a bit rusty, wasn't it? Sorry, it's been 2 weeks off. It's good to be back. Martin, how are you doing? I forgot to actually mention that you and I are doing this. So I'm David Dunn. Hello. And you're Martin Prendergast. Hello again. Do apologise. I'm very, very rusty, folks. I haven't been back for 2 weeks. Martin, did you miss me?
Of course, I did miss you, Dave. Yeah, although we've been in contact, haven't we? We do have a WhatsApp group, and it's been a bit quiet actually, our WhatsApp group. But now it's going to pick up because we're obviously covering the games going forward.
We are indeed
looking forward to them. We're travelling to the games, so really looking forward to it.
Yes, we are. Martin and I will be going. Well, I'll be going to both games. You're not going to the one in Ireland, are you, Martin? Is there an England match on or something? Or?
Not an England match, no. No, it's other commitments. Real life gets in the way, family, things like that.
Don't know what
I know. Actually, well, I'll be watching the Ireland game, obviously on TV. This one, as a season ticket holder, I've given my tickets to my nephew and brother-in-law.
Good man.
So that's good. And yeah, not traveling over for it, but because obviously off to Gibraltar.
Well, yeah, we're going to. Wait for it. Hold on. We're going to Gibraltar. Actually, a mate of mine is actually from Gibraltar, and I was telling some folks at work about it, and I turned around and explained the whole situation, and his name is Tim, and I just went, Tim, will I bring you back a stick of rock from Gibraltar? Yeah, next week. And he said, fuck off.
yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, great fun. Martin, of course, you won't be going to the match in Dublin, but you will be joining me for the pre-match.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I will be joining you. So that'll be an unusual one in a way. So yeah, looking forward to doing that with you, the show,
the Greece game,
post-match as well.
Yep,
and then all set off. Then aren't we to head off to Portugal on?
Martin and I going on a little road trip. You and I are actually going to be on the same plane together. I'm giving you the sheer joy and luxury and pleasure of sharing a plane, the same oxygen as me, Martin. I know how privileged you must feel over that. I don't blame you, really, to be honest. But we're not sitting in the same part of the plane, are we? Are you sitting on the back?
Oh, you're in the posh seats, are you?
No, you see, what actually happened is that I think you booked. I told you I was on the back row. And I thought I was on the back row. I actually wasn't. I actually forgot to book my tickets, and I couldn't get my seat because you had actually taken my seat.
Yeah, that's it.
Thanks for that. Good. But all of that, we're going to have a ton of stuff coming your way over the weekend. Actually, before we get into it, I will share this at the end as well, but just the schedule that we've got here on the 12th. We have the Greece preview live. And we also on the 13th, the day of the match, we're going to have the post-match game against Greece as per usual, live from Lansdowne Road. Then on Sunday the 15th, we will have the Greece review, the Gibraltar preview. That will be live as well. And that will actually be from Gibraltar, Portugal, from Faro. Martin and I will be there. And then, of course, we'll have the post-match live. I didn't actually put the live next to it. I don't know why, but anyway, it's all live. And we'll have the winner review on the 17th. So we'll come back. Literally, Martin and I will just be off the plane from Gibraltar. After having a massive lovers tiff, you and I, Martin, after being sick of each other for 2 nights. We're in the same hotel as well.
Yeah.
You're not going to do a Lenny Henry on me, are you, Martin? I'm not going to just go into my room and you're going to be lying there in my bed. All right. Or what I did to Jim Beglin in Copenhagen.
I think Jim Beglin will probably be happy if he is covering the game that I'm going to be the focus of your attention for the 2 nights.
Yes, you are.
Sounds a lot more sinister than I intended, but
yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to the trip. Look, I mean, I've been to Faro before for the kind of lockdown game when Ireland fans couldn't go. So yeah, we will have a good following going to this one. And yeah, a bit of sun and stuff. We'll have a bit of crack, and it'd be good.
Yep, no, looking forward to it. And of course, going a little bit back to tonight's episode, we are Irish football's most interactive podcast, and we are, by the way, and we're free for now until we get desperate. But of course, as always, guys, have your say, leave a comment, get involved. I want to hear from you. We're going to talk all things Ireland squad. We're going to be talking about Sammy Szmodics. We're going to be talking about Euro 2028, a little bit of the Robbie Keane situation in Israel. So whatever you want to say about that, whatever questions you might have, or just anything really within reason that won't get us thrown off the air, have your say, get involved. So we'll come back to, I'm so rusty. So rusty. This is going to be the boys in green. I'm going to see how the Oibig got on. I can't watch it. Nick has moved all my stuff around, Mark. I'm not happy about it if you're watching, Nick. Anyway, here we go. Here's the boys in green. And yes, a feast of Irish football here on Oibig. And here it is. Five incidents. Sammy Szmodics with a goal and assist for Blackburn Rovers in a 4-0 win over QPR. Sorry, Declan, if you're watching. Not having a good season there. Mark McGuinness with a goal for Cardiff City in a 1-1 draw against Watford. Sean McLaughlin with an assist for Hull City in a 2-2 draw with Millwall. Joe Rafferty got an assist for Portsmouth in a 2-0 win over Port Vale. And David McGoldrick, Ditzy or Eddie, whatever way you want to call it, got a goal for Notts County in a 1-1 draw with Barrow. Of course, nobody from Stephen Kenny's original squad doing anything except for Sammy Szmodics, who's now into the squad. And we're going to get into the squad, actually. There's no real point in talking about that, because that's very slim picking, shall we say, not too encouraging going into the international break. So basically, Nick, he's not on tonight. He's put together, Martin, a fantastic list that only I got to look at, not you. You only sent it to me. It was a Google form. And I'm going to read it out, actually, because it's a lot to swallow, and to try and put it up on the screen. And yes, it's basically every member of the Ireland squad listed, how they got on the weekend, and how they've done so far this season. It's a great piece that Nick has put together. Are you ready for this, Martin? Are you ready for this explosive bit of basic analysis, as somebody would call it on Twitter? We won't mention that. He might hit me a box when he sees me in the press box. Right, so we'll get on with the goalkeepers. Gavin Bazunu, as we know, Southampton, Kenny's number one. This weekend, 90 minutes in a 1-1 draw with Rotherham. However, this season has had 11 games, 1 clean sheet, and 21 goals conceded. Max O'Leary, a replacement for Caoimhín Kelleher at Liverpool. Max O'Leary, though, Bristol City, 90 minutes and a 2-1 loss to Leeds. He's had 13 games, 2 clean sheets, with 11 goals conceded. And Mark Travers, the other goalkeeper, Stoke City, 90 minutes and a 2-0 loss to Leicester, 12 games, 1 clean sheet, 17 goals conceded. Now, obviously, notwithstanding a massive injury or unforeseen circumstances, Martin, Gavin Bazunu is going to be Kenny's number one. However, just reading out those very basic analytics there, I mean, Max O'Leary really is our most informed goalkeeper, because Gavin Bazunu is actually our least informed goalkeeper. He's played the least amount of games, but he's conceded the most amount of goals. Is that the sort of basic analysis that perhaps Stephen Kenny should be looking at? Or, I mean, not what he should be doing. We know what he's going to do, let's be honest. It's going to be Gavin Bazunu. But that's something he should pay attention to, the form of his goalkeepers at domestic level.
I think he has to obviously pay attention to it, but I don't think that is a factor, because I think he's mentioned, Gavin Bazunu's form, basically, and that he's conceded goals that probably wasn't at fault for, is how I've read it.
Yeah.
He's not been fantastic, and he can surely do better. But, I think he is our number one, and for good reason. He's our most consistently playing goalkeeper, and going down to the Championship was a bit of a worry.
Domestic wise, he's not. I mean, domestic wise.
No, I know that, but like
Max O'Leary,
he's the one who's in the pole position for number one for Ireland. So I don't see.
That's because Kenny keeps picking him, though. To be fair.
Yeah, but I don't think he's made any massive errors for us.
Lots of goals conceded from outside the box, though, Martin. To be fair, that's a massive criticism.
I know that's a stat as well. I know that is, but
not more basic analysis.
Yeah, no, but all the analysis of it, it's what you see. I prefer him in goal to Kelleher and O'Leary and Travers. So I just think he's our best future goalkeeper as well.
What do you make of Kelleher though? He's 25 and he's only played like 30 club games at senior level. I mean, surely the argument for him to stay, no, he's learning from the best, and Liverpool are the best. You and I both know that. But surely he's got to move on. This was the season for him to move on, was it not?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, it mystifies me that he's not moved on, and also that teams aren't knocking the door down to sign him, because he is international class goalkeeper ultimately. I would have thought he would have got a move, and it's just a very strange one, that he's not. And it's got to be a concern for him, really, club career wise, that he's just stagnating a little bit there. It's a shame, because I think he's a very good goalkeeper, but I don't know, the profile's maybe not there. But he's going to get the move.
He's got to play regular. 25 now as well.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing of you only come into your peak when you're 34. It was the old.
No, it's the numbers you said there, though. 30 games, that's not enough, is it? Over how many seasons? It's ridiculous, and that is going to ultimately affect sharpness. And
of course it is. I mean, anytime he's played for Ireland, Kelleher, he's not performed very well for us. I don't think. I think he's very sloppy when he came in for those Nations League games. I thought he was very sloppy. He wasn't sharp. He was very, very, very blunt, and that comes with it. I mean, you look at the likes of De Gea, young goalkeepers, he was thrown in the deep end, wasn't he? He was 19, 20 at United. Casillas 19 as well, thrown in the deep end, and he became one to be very, very top goalkeepers.
And that's the thing I'd say with Bazunu, though. He has been thrown in early. He was capped 18, wasn't he? And saved the penalty, of course, as well, against Portugal in Faro, ironically. He has inherited the shirt, and he's done really well, I think, ultimately, and he is our number one now.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think maybe. Well, we'll move it on there. Let's get on to the defenders. Shane Duffy, Norwich City, 90 minutes and a 1-1 draw with Coventry. This season played 13. He's got 3 yellow cards. Matt Doherty, Wolves, 45 minutes, 1-1 draw with Aston Villa, 6 games, 2 goals. Darrow Shea, Burnley, 45 minutes in a 4-1 loss to Chelsea, 6 games, 1 goal. Nathan Collins, Brentford, 90 minutes and yellow card in a 2-1 loss to Manchester United, 9 games, 1 assist, 2 yellow cards. Andrew Amabamidele, he wasn't in the squad for Nottingham Forest, 20-year-old, he signed for 20 million. Has not featured, but he's had 4 games and 2 yellow cards so far. But I think that was actually for Norwich. I don't think he's actually played for Nottingham Forest. I could be wrong. Ryan Manning, makes back-to-back squads, I think, for the first time in a very long time. Southampton, 90 minutes in that 1-1 draw with Rotherham, 11 games, 2 assists, 4 yellow cards. Festi Ebisele, Udinese, 71 minutes in a 0-0 draw with Empoli. He's had 9 games this season in Italy. And Liam Scales for Celtic, 90 minutes. And a yellow card and a 3-1 win over Kilmarnock. 13 games, 3 yellow cards, and he is playing Champions League football. I'm going to play a bit of audio, Martin, about from Brendan Rodgers talking about Liam Scales and how he's surprised him and pretty much everyone at the club. Bear with me 2 seconds.
It's your first pick for you now, but he's outstanding. I'm so happy for him, and he's probably one of the biggest surprises, I would say, in my career as a coach. And only because I hadn't seen him play so much, and there was other ones ahead of him, and through, obviously, one's leaving and one's been injured. I've seen enough in training to give him the opportunity, but how he's taken it, he ideally always want the left side of centre half in your team.
There's only so long I can listen to Brendan Rodgers for with his pseudo Scottish accent. He's Scottish as a Northerner. Anyway, so he's obviously lavishing praise on Liam Scales. He has been a bit of a surprise. As I said before that clip, he is the only player playing consistent Champions League football. He hasn't let himself down either. He hasn't looked. I know Celtic have lost both games, but he's actually played quite well. What are the chances that Liam Scales is actually going to feature in any of the games? And do you actually think he'll even make the matchday squad?
I think he'll play against Gibraltar. I think that's what he'll be able to do. That hopefully experiment a little bit there and reward him basically, which I think he should. He should have played him in Malta, but he didn't. Even I wasn't very comfortable with Stephen Kenny saying he's been very unlucky not to be capped so far. Well, pick him in the squad.
You're in charge of that, mate.
you've been there in in that game against Morton. You didn't play him, and that's where he should have been given opportunity. I think you got to go on the form of him. He's playing very, very well, playing Champions League football. Celtic fans have taken to him. I said in the podcast before as well. We had a former FAI coach, Larry Mahoney. He spoke glowingly of him and what he would do in football. And to be fair, he's been proven right in relatively recently. With him making inroads at Celtic. So it's great to see, and the profile's risen. And I think he should be rewarded. And I think we can afford against Gibraltar to cap him ultimately.
Actually, when I say that, by the way, do you think he might the match? Just to clarify, I think he should be in the matchday squad. I think he probably should start. He is our probably most informed defender right now. I mean, Andrew Bamadelli, I don't know what's going on with him. Is he injured? He hasn't featured at all for Forest.
Yeah, I think he is injured. No, he's not been.
Why is he in the squad?
It's a bit of a mystery signing in a way, that one. Lots of speculation. Other teams interested in him, but yeah, he's in the squad, and he was in the last one. He got called up, didn't he, as well? So yeah. I mean, look, I think reading into Stephen Kenny, what he said about why he hadn't picked other people in the squad who were omitted from the original number was that like for example, why has he got Callum Robertson in there? Was because he said, well, he knows our system, he knows how he wants to play, and we can't really experiment and go through that now with new additions. But so I can understand, and Liam Scales is there, and Omar Bamatelli will know what the setup is, how they want to play at the back. So I can understand him being in there, but he's not played. He's going to be rusty. I can't see how we can't be doing that anymore. We just can't be playing players who are not match fit.
No. Why?
That's just for me.
I mean, yeah,
can you get away with it once, but you can't get away with it over 2 games. Like we've had this, and Stephen Kenny's spoken about this as well. Like he's actually said this in press conferences that he talks about the load on players, and we really struggled in games where it was like a 3-game camp or 2-game window, and that the players who didn't play can put it in and put that shift in, but then recovery, then they're not able to cope then with the physical demands of it for the second game. So if we had an injury crisis here, Omar Bamadelli could come in there and play and do the job for that game, but he can't do it over 2. I wouldn't think he can over 2 games. All right, he's a young guy, so maybe he can, but like the different scenario then perhaps Shane Duffy, if he wasn't playing week in, week out, you'd probably question, was he fit enough or not? That was definitely in the past when he wasn't playing. So, Stephen Kenny's got to learn from his own words on this and how he summarised like the conditioning kind of aspect of it.
Yeah. Okay. We'll move it on to the midfield. Nick's mate, Alan Brown, Preston, 45 minutes and yellow card in a 4-2 loss against Ipswich. They were on cracking form for a while there at Preston, actually. 11 games, 2 assists, 4 yellow cards this season for Alan Brown. Josh Cullen, your mate, Burnley, 61 minutes in yellow card in a 4-1 loss against Chelsea. 9 games, 1 assist, 3 yellow cards. They're not having a good season, are they, Burnley? I think if only somebody had said, Martin, that Burnley would insist on playing a style of football that would see him getting an absolute hiding week in, week out. If only somebody had said that on this podcast. Did they? I can't remember. Yeah, they are currently 19th in the Premier League, and they have lost. They've played 8, drawn 3, and lost 5. Just putting it out there. Back to the squad. We have Jason Knight, Bristol City, 67 minutes and a 2-1 loss against Leeds. 13 games, 2 goals, 2 assists, 1 yellow card for him. Jason Malumbi, West Brom, unused sub in a 3-1 loss to Birmingham City. Interesting one, that one. 10 games, 1 assist, 3 yellow cards. Actually, just a side note there, John Eustace sacked today as Birmingham City manager, 6th in the table. John Eustace, of course, the former assistant manager under Stephen Kenny. He was assistant manager QPR until your man buggered off up to Rangers and then got fired. Can't think of his name, actually.
Beale.
That's it,
Beale.
Michael Beale. Michael Beale, yeah. He said he wasn't, when he was offered to go to Wolves, I'm not going to go to Wolves. I believe in loyalty. And then Rangers came knocking and he got fired. Anyway, so Wayne Rooney looks set to come in, which is absolutely bonkers. A bonkers decision by Birmingham. Tom Brady owns Birmingham now, doesn't he? He's got a share in them.
Yeah, it's very similar to the Burnley kind of model in a way. They've got a lot of investment from American.
And Wayne Rooney's come in from DC United, hasn't he? And he's done absolutely nothing there. I think he's an appalling record, but he's coming in. But the reason why I also mention this, speaking of assistant managers, John O'Shea is tipped to come in with Ashley Cole, I believe, as well, with Wayne Rooney as assistant manager. Surely to God, we're not going to lose another one, are we? I imagine John O'Shea would be very much sticking with Stephen Kenny. He'll manage both roles, won't he?
Yeah, I think so. And he was doing that, wasn't he, previously? I think with Stoke in the past, Reading as well, when he was involved. He was, he's also around like Man United a little bit as well, I think. So he's a very clever guy, John O'Shea. He's
well regarded,
very astute, and done a lot of business degrees and things afterwards into football kind of management stuff. So
highly rated man, highly rated coach, and I'm sure a highly rated man, a quality human being. I've never met him actually. No, have I? I think I have actually met him once at Fulham, but anyway, I digress. Jamie McGrath, Aberdeen, 56 minutes in a 0-0 draw with St. Johnstone. That kind of just sums him up, really, doesn't it? A 0-0 draw with St. Johnstone. 9 games, 2 goals, 1 yellow card. To be fair, he did get a great goal against Rangers. But actually did cause Michael Beale's sacking, by the way, when he beat Rangers 3-1 at Ibrox. Will Smallbone, your cousin Will, Southampton, 86 minutes and a 1-1 draw with Rotherham. 10 games, 1 goal, 3 yellow cards. And Mark Sykes in the squad. Bristol City, 90 minutes and a 2-1 loss versus Leeds. 13 games, 2 goals, 2 assists. I mean, no real, absolutely zero surprises. Well, actually, no, there was one. And Nick mentioned this as well about Jeff Hendrick, who's at
Sheffield Wednesday.
Sheffield Wednesday, who are a basket case of club, by the way. We'll get to that in a second. But Jeff Hendrick, not playing at all for Ireland. Stephen Kenny picks him. And then when he starts getting games for Sheffield Wednesday in the Championship, Stephen Kenny doesn't pick him. Now, I don't think he should be in the squad. I'm not personal against Jeff. I just don't think. I think there's better players there. I mean, the midfield, no real surprises there, Martin. I don't think you could really you could say too much there, can you?
Not really. No, I think he is kind of phasing Jeff out now. To be honest, I think it's a little bit like how we handled the last kind of time of Conor Hourihane as well, coming in the squad around the periphery. You know what you can do. You kind of give him an odd few minutes, which Stephen Kenny did with Hourihane. Now he's recently did it with Jeff Hendrick as well. So I just think that's the end of him now. But I think he's done okay for us over the years. He's got a lot of flack from Ireland fans. We're disappointed he didn't kick on. I think from 2016 for me anyway, definitely. And it just you just hope that we've got. We keep emphasising that it's a young, youthful squad, this one that he's picked here. That's what the FAI announced the other day. So that's the way they're going.
Absolutely. Sheffield Wednesday, Chesiri, that's the name. Davon Chesiri is the owner. And they just sacked a manager, didn't they? They got rid of Darren Moore, who got him from League One into the Championship, gave him no money. And this new guy came in, Chesiri. But anyway, they're having a right go with him, the fans. And basically he said, if you slag me off anymore, I won't put any more money into the club. Right. There you go. Basket case. No manager there for Jeff, so he's really stepped into a bit of a shitstorm. Back to the Forest. Callum Robinson back in the squad. Cardiff City, 35 minutes and a 1-1 draw at Watford, 8 games, 1 goal, but he is coming back from injury. Adam Ida Norris, 76 minutes and 1-1 draw with Coventry City, 14 games, 4 goals, 1 assist. Ticking along. Chidozie Ogbeni.
Yep.
What?
Chidozie.
Chidozie Ogbeni. Luton Town, 90 minutes and a 1-0 loss to Spurs. They're very lucky in that one, actually. He's had 10 games, hasn't scored yet. Aaron Connolly, who was in the squad but has been taken out. But we'll tell you how he got on. 30 minutes and a 2-2 draw with Millwall. 12 games, 5 goals, 3 yellow cards. That boy has no luck. When it comes to being in green, he has been sent back, and in comes Sammy Szmodics. Blackburn Rovers, 89 minutes, goal and assist, and a 4-1 over QPR. I did say that at the top of the pod. 12 games, 7 goals, 2 assists, 3 yellow cards. Why the hell has it taken a withdrawal of Aaron Connolly to get him in that squad? We've been talking about it for ages. I know he doesn't technically fit into Stephen Kenny's preferred system, but why wouldn't you pick your top goal scorer that you have available to you? And he is their top goal scorer that is available to Stephen Kenny. Why is this man getting overlooked?
That's the biggest mystery of it all. And I know that Dan McDonough asked, didn't he? For the trackers.
For the trackers, yeah.
Yeah. and that he was on the professional squad, and it's a nonsense now. Half the explanations, to be honest. Look, he's in there. That's what we all wanted to see. I'd like to see him get an opportunity against Gibraltar to show what he can do if he cuts it at this level. And we don't know. That's the thing. We don't know if he does because he's not been given an opportunity so far. He is a form player. All right, it's the Championship, but that it's a competitive league. We've got most of our players are in that level.
Yeah,
you've got to have them in there, and it's a shame that it has taken. I mean, Aaron Connolly, I think, will be a bit of a miss. I think a shame for him as well because I think he was. He's a player who's kind of divided opinion, Aaron Connolly. We thought he was getting a bit too big for his boots and things like that. Lots of off the field
he's
kind of
pulling the nose up though.
Yeah, but he is. And again, it seems to be a real change of, he went off for the under-21s, didn't he? Okay, they didn't qualify, but, he went and done that. He didn't see that as demeaning in any way, which is what we want from our players. Has come back. He's done very well. He probably was slighted a little bit that he didn't come on against France, and they went with Sinclair Armstrong, who had just been called up for the under-21s. So I and there was different rumours here and then, but I was looking forward to seeing him. I think he offers something different, Aaron Connolly, a little bit of pace as well about him. So we will miss that. But I think for this game, it's not the end of the world. But for these two games, Sammy Szmodics coming in, I think could really be important against a team who is just going to defend, which I'm expecting Gibraltar to do. So I think he could be given an opportunity there to see what he offers.
Yeah, no, 100%. I actually wrote a little piece a few days ago about what Stephen Kenny needs to do with the squad, rip it up and start again. And the absolute, I got dogs abuse, Martin, I really did. But, I turned around and said, look, there's plenty of examples as I don't think Stephen Kenny's squads make a lot of sense these days. And I just use one example, Sammy Szmodics, your most informed player. He's brimming with confidence. He's in the form of his life. Surely you want that. You want that energy around the squad. What about, you got to freshen things up a bit. It's not working. We've won one game. We've had 0 points. We've had 3 points from one game against Gibraltar at home, and that wasn't great. I don't care what anyone says. That was not a good performance. It's very slow. It's very prodding, and we only got a first goal from a mistake. Bring a guy in. He's, change it up a bit. It's not working. And that was the point I was trying to make. And people were like, "Why, you mean some fella from Blackburn is going to change it all around? Go, give you a head a wobble. You're a clown. You're this. You're a muppet." Oh yeah. Apparently, it's my fault that Stephen Kenny is still in a job. I was just looking at all of that. You have a look at the comments. There's one guy in particular. He is a clown. And I just laughed at him. He said something. He said something there like, and some of the question. And I think a lot of people were like, you're not advocating for this guy who's going to stay in the job, or he's got. It's like, no, I was just saying, look, he's got 4 games left. Okay, the FAI, we all thought he was going to be gone after the Dutch game. That's what was being bandied about. The FAI said, no, we're going to let him see out his contract. So I said, okay, you've got 4 games to save your job, basically, because I can't see him getting one afterwards. So set your stall out, send a message to go, do you know what? It hasn't worked. I'm going to try something different. Because I don't think he'll be kept on. I don't think whatever he does, I think they're going to go someone else anyway. But I was just saying, like, if he has any modicum, any hope of holding on to his job, he needs to change it. And everyone was like, "You're this, you're a Kenny apologist." Anyway, and then one guy goes, "Here's this Szmodics bloke. Oh, this is ridiculous." I'm thinking, yeah, that is ridiculous. You don't know who you're a fan of the Irish team. You don't know who Sammy Szmodics is. Yeah, it's what you're up against.
But you do get that. Like, I think I put up the Anthony Barry picture a while ago as well.
Yeah, and
I said, like, we've really missed him since and people going, who is he? Like, and someone just went, well, you kind of should know if you are following an Irish football page.
Yeah,
now, you don't have to be an expert. Like, you don't have to.
No,
have that much interest from, but still, like, some kind of high profile people in it.
You don't have to know every facet of the Irish team. Like, I get that, like 100%, but don't be an arsehole. Do you know what I mean? Who's this guy? Who's that? If you don't know this guy, then keep your mouth shut. It's just... Anyway, sorry, it's been a long couple of weeks. Evan Ferguson of Brighton, just finishing off the last 2 strikers after my little rant. Evan Ferguson, Brighton, 60 minutes in a 2-2 draw with Liverpool. He actually he played a gorgeous pass.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Beautiful pass. That really should have been a goal for Brighton. He looked really well. Now he is nursing an injury at the moment. 60 minutes and 2-2 draw, 11 games, 5 goals, 1 yellow card. And then Mikey Johnson of Celtic. Now, here's an example. Here's a prime example. Lad wasn't in the squad, hasn't played any games this season. Now he has been injured, so fair enough. But here's a guy, he's not playing, but Kenny fancies him because he's a winger, isn't he? He's a left-sided winger. He's an old-fashioned winger. Kenny wants to play at wingers. So this guy is just going to get in, yet he hasn't played a game of football. I can't imagine him playing against Greece. And, probably against Gibraltar away in Faro. But anyway, Sammy Szmodics, what do you reckon on the chances? Because he's a late, and it seems to be that most late additions to Kenny's squad don't feature in the match day squad. What do you reckon the chances are he won't be in the match day squad come the Greece game on Friday?
He might not make the Greece squad, but I think you've got to actually play him against Gibraltar. I think you have to go with it then. And you can afford to do it there. But he might not. It depends how he gets on in training. Again, the Michael Johnson thing is fascinating because I think it worries me that he is a kind of explosive player, and if he's not fit, why is he there in a sense if he's not going to play? And I would rather have seen James McLean in the squad because James McLean's playing week in, week out, and as a wing can play on the wing as well. Perhaps it's not how he wants to go, that he's that way. But if you think about the last squad, we had Ender Stevens in there, the left side. I know then previously we've had that. It's our problem area, the left. Like we've had O'Dowda tried there, injured. McLean now is fit, but he's not deemed good enough. So what do you do? Like, it's a strange one.
Yeah.
Is he going to probably go with Doherty out on the left again? He could do that. It's just such a worrying position for us that we don't seem to have the players there at the moment. And Johnson, I think, is a very exciting attacking player on the left, but I think more of an impact sub for me at the moment. He's very relatively experienced for Ireland at the moment. He's had a good impact though, but he's
an impact player.
Yeah, and I think he probably could see Callum Robinson out there on the left, especially with Connolly out now. You could probably see that happening if he's going to be match fit.
Yeah, just going to fly through some of the fringe players here that Nick's put together. Mark McGuinness, we did mention, 90 minutes and a goal and a 1-1 draw with Watford for Cardiff City. 12 games, 2 goals this season. No cards, no yellow cards. Not like a typical centre half. Will Keane, not involved in this squad. Preston, 90 minutes in a 4-2 loss to Ipswich Town, 9 games, 4 goals, 1 assist. Sinclair Armstrong, QPR, 79 minutes in a 4-0 loss to Blackburn Rovers. Hasn't really kicked on. He did have a decent bit of form there, actually. 11 games, 1 goal, 2 assists. Danny McNamara Millwall cannot get into the team, yet we're crying out for a right back. 90 minutes in a 2-2 draw with Hull City, 10 games, 1 yellow card. Luke McNally is Stoke, 90 minutes and 2-0 loss, 10 games, 3 yellow cards. Finn Azaz, Plymouth, 30 minutes and a 3-1 loss to Swansea. He's got 13 games, 2 goals, 2 assists, 1 yellow card in the Championship. Andrew Moran, Blackburn Rovers, 30 minutes and a 4-0 win over QPR, 10 games, 2 goals, 3 assists, 1 yellow card. Andrew Moran, there was more talk of him at the press conference than there was Sammy Szmodics, because no one really asked the question about Sammy Szmodics except for Dan did. Fair play. To be fair play to Dan. I do like Dan. I do actually enjoy reading his stuff. But he did mention that he asked about Sammy Szmodics because no one else did. But everyone was talking about Andrew Moran instead. Now, which struck me as weird because surely the question of Sammy Szmodics should have superseded the question about Andrew Moran, because Andrew Moran is still very, very, very young. You got Sammy Szmodics, I think he's 28 at the moment, in the form of his life. Unquestionable talent, Andrew Moran. But, did he, is he on the standby list, is he?
Well, I would assume so, because he's with the under-21s, and I think they're kind of just looking at him there and letting him experience the joys of playing with the under-21s. Could easily be called up, though, if we have injuries from the first game. We could easily be just bringing him in for the second one. So I think that's important to kind of monitor as well. Keep an eye on how we are getting on, because we'll be travelling, of course, on Saturday after the team will travel on assume Saturday morning off to Portugal, and you could see players joining up before the game if there are pullouts. And I think he's one that can come in from the under-21s.
Fair enough. Robbie Brady, Preston, 45 minutes and a 4-2 loss to Ipswich Town. 6 games, 1 assist, 1 yellow card. I think it's fair to say his international career is pretty much done. Jeff Hendrick. Oh, Jeff, it's ironic because I actually said that he's been playing, but he actually didn't play. this weekend for Sheffield Wednesday, but they are a basket case. 5 games, 2 yellow cards. Darragh Lenihan, Middlesbrough, unused sub in a 4-0 win over Sunderland. 10 games, 1 goal, 1 yellow card. Sean McLaughlin, Hull City, assist in a 2-2 draw with Millwall. 11 games, 1 assist, 1 yellow card. James McLean, Wrexham, did play 90 minutes. Yellow card, 1-0 win of Crawley Town. 8 games, 1 assist, 1 yellow card. And of course, we mentioned Ditsy, 90 minutes and a goal in a 1-1 draw. Barrow, so far 11 games, 6 goals, 2 assists. But to be fair, he's League 2 now, isn't he? He's League 2. Danny Crowley, League 2 as well. 14 games, 5 goals, 2 assists, 2 yellow cards at Notts County. Troy Parrott, Excelsior. 22 minutes, 0-0 draw with Vitesse Arnhem. 5 goals, 2 goals. Sorry, 5 goals, 5 games, 2 goals, 1 yellow card. Jesus Christ. I take it that's a fitness thing, really. He did score a great goal, by the way, for Excelsior. So give him time. He'll be back in. Conor Ronan, Colorado Rapids. He loves his old Conor Ronan, Nick, doesn't he? So before you send your hate tweets to me, Nick, put this together. 78 minutes and assist in a 5-1 loss to Houston Dynamo. Oh, Jesus. 32 games, 1 goal, 8 assists, 1 yellow card. And Armstrong, Okaflex, another one Nick loves. FC Zurich, 7 minutes and a 3-2 win over Winter Tour. I don't know. 4 games and 1 goal. So that is your extensive and exhaustive boys in green. So some grim reading there. Oh, Jesus. We'll be moving on, Martin, and we'll get back to the because there's going to be some squad-centric comments. Yeah, questions in the comments. So we'll get back to that. By the way, see your comments coming in. We will get to it. I want to hear from you. Tell us about Sammy Szmodics. Should James tell us about what you think about James? It'd be your first chance to talk about James McLean and his retirement. Talk about my beautifully written article and how much you loved it. And also whatever takes your fancy. We will get to the comments soon enough. But we are going to talk a little bit. We're going to go a little bit to the left. Going to go to the east. Going to go to the Middle East. And of course, you know me. I love my wars, Martin. And the latest one to break out, which is just in this mad world that we live in, of course, whatever you think, whatever side you're on, I'm not going to get into that here. However, in Israel, of course, Hamas launched an attack on Israel a few days ago. And this man here, Robbie Keane, well, I put a message up here. I'll read it out just for the audio listeners, but I put it up here on Twitter. And it was Maccabi Tel Aviv manager Robbie Keane and his assistant Roy Delap have been forced to flee Israel following the attack by Hamas. According to TalkSport, they were reportedly held in a panic room and fled to Greece. I actually forgot that he was over there, which I'm pretty certain was an absolutely harrowing ordeal for Robbie, and hope he is safe and everyone's fine. But I put this up, Martin, on Twitter and Facebook, of course, and the tweet was seen by over 110,000 people and had a ton of comments and reposts. And I tell you what, some of the stuff, they were just absolutely mental. I mean, there was one guy posing as John Delaney. Come over to London, Robbie. We'll go to buy watches with Figo. He's obviously, is he talking about? Here we go. Picture there with John Delaney and Luis Figo. I don't want to make light of the situation. Robbie Keane is an Irish legend, but it goes to show you some of these comments. One should never have gone. I suppose that's the risk you take when you decide to take a break. You decide to break an international sporting boycott of a terrorist apartheid state. Kieran, don't come back. Should have thought about that before he took the money and turned a blind eye. There's all sorts of stuff. Legacy is done here and all for the money. Just if you look there, a plethora of negative comments about Robbie Keane. It's a sad situation. And we're talking strictly about the football here, not what's going on in that part of the world, which is absolutely dreadful. But for Robbie Keane, like Ireland's record goal scorer, caps holder, is he even polarizing anymore? A polarizing figure, or is he just kind of one way with the Irish fans?
Footballing wise, brilliant, wasn't he? But yeah, I just think he's been damaged a little bit. I've said it before in here. He should be on reproach. He should never be able to question what a legend is for the footballing side of it. But the more, the FAI contract kind of thing, which, technically he was right. He was contracted. It wasn't his fault. And he's done that. But the association of skin, he doesn't need the money either. But, it just maybe shows kind of mentality of it. And that's just modern footballers, and our heroes are not, often perhaps we kind of see it a little bit kind of innocent, really. And we think, oh, well, like he's a multi-millionaire. He doesn't need the money. And, it would be great, wouldn't it, if he just doesn't take the money from the FAI anymore, even though it's contractually obliged to. Well,
yeah, I mean,
I think though with this though this went across political divide, didn't it? And it's a difficult one to chat about, because you've got then Celtic fans are very, they've had a lot of. They see Celtic are getting a bit of flack, aren't they? Because some of their fans, how they think about Palestine and things like that, and it's a horrible place at the moment, Twitter, with the coverage of it and the views of it, and it's very, I know this, that we're in London, and there's vigils and protesting tonight. It's just such a complex situation. Robbie's been caught up in the middle of it. I mean, a lot of us were questioning, why has he gone there? What's he doing? Doesn't he get it really? That he's going to get flack for this, but he seemed beyond that. It wasn't bothering him. And he's probably thinking, well, it's football, so why should I not? And this situation's happened now, and again, people are going to condemn him and just say, well, you shouldn't have done it in the first place.
It just amazes me though how people trivialize death.
Yeah,
look, it doesn't matter what side of it you're on. I mean, it's a dreadful thing what's been going on there. It's a dreadful thing that happened with Hamas. 700 people dead, and obviously there's thousands from the other side of it as well. And it's just depressing state of the world right now. But it's just the way people trivialize it.
Yeah,
it's mental. But anyway, more on that. But anyway, we hope he's all right. I'm not sure what's going to happen there, but they are at war, so I'd imagine the Israeli season's done. He was actually doing all right as Maccabi Tel Aviv manager. He had a decent record. So he's doing an all right job. But yeah, I mean, some things are a lot more important in football, and that is one of them. But we hope he's all right and the family's okay. I'd imagine that must have been an absolute terrorizing, scary situation, because it's the real deal out there. They don't mess about. Jesus.
No.
Right. Where we're moving on to. Oh, yes. I know what I want to talk about. Something we're probably going to have a little row about, Martin. We're going to talk about Euro 2028. So that's due to be ratified tomorrow by UEFA because of the two sweetest words in the English dictionary. That is default. Turkey pulled out of the running. I think it was Turkey and Italy, was it?
Yeah.
Why can't Italy that's mad, isn't it, how Italy can... Well, anyway, it seems to be the thing. The more countries you hold it across, the more chance you have of winning a tournament.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, it looks like England, Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, and the Republic, we're all going in for this thing, and it's going to be ratified. England obviously have a plethora of stadiums. Scotland will have, no doubt, I'd imagine, Celtic Park, Murrayfield if they wanted to. I don't know. I haven't got the details here in front of me. And Wales have a nice few stadiums. And Casement Park up in the north. Now, I think the Republic, the Irish government, want to pay some of that to turn that into a multi-purpose stadium, Gaelic and football. And of course, what the part we're going to have of that is basically we're just going to host a few games in Lansdowne Road. I almost lived up there. Are you excited by this, Martin? Are you happy about all of this? We're going to have just a few games in Lansdowne Road, no real investment in anything in Ireland with Irish football, just one stadium, that's it. Polish it up a little bit, few buttons, paint the footpaths.
I am excited about it, just generally because we're co-hosting an international tournament, and with that there will be investment, and I think again I think I said before, we'd be looking quite sorrowful and with regret that we weren't involved with it if it went ahead without us being involved. We were the only team or country, if you recall, Euro 2020. We were the only team that gave up the games, and we should have just held them in lockdown, and that would have helped us, financially, I suppose, in some respects. I think it's very much, driven by the respective football associations. Jonathan Hill, with his involvement with the English FA as well, is going to make that as part of his legacy with the FAI. I think that we've secured this co-hosting situation. again, there's going to be a lot of speculation about how teams are going to qualify as hosts or not. I think they will be playing qualification games.
What I believe it is, we're all going to go into a
qualifying campaign. Yeah,
qualifying campaign. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you're out there watching in Facebook and YouTube land, and you know, correct me if I'm wrong here, and you too, Martin. But
Mr. Seferin. Mr. Seferin's watching from UEFA.
He is. I'm sure he is. I believe 2 out of the 5, 2 will automatically qualify, and whoever is the best performing team that doesn't qualify automatically out of the 2, they go into they qualify, and then someone else, they go into a playoff, is it, or
something like that?
Yeah,
I mean, that's all going to have to be confirmed. But I mean, look, there's a risk of this.
That's a rumor.
We might be co-hosting a tournament where we might not actually be participating. But look, I'm not. It was really weird if you think back to 2020, how it was, and we were going to be hosting games, and it was going to be we're going to have one game at home, and then we were going to do this, and we'd be traveling here and stuff. So I think it's strange, but
I think
when it comes round, though, Dave, people behind it, and look, we had the Aviva Lansdowne Road hosted Man United and Celtic recently for pre-season friendlies. People will want to watch football. Fans will travel to games.
But how is it going to benefit Irish football? It'll benefit the local. It'll benefit the economy. It'll benefit the Irish economy overall. But it sounds like the only investment we're going to have on this island is going to be in Northern Ireland with a Gaelic stadium that they're going to have in Casement Park, because Windsor Park is too small, and that's the only way they can get involved. And the Irish government are going to pay towards some of that, because the unionist government are giving it, although they're centralised at the moment because they don't have the local governments, because they can't agree to anything up in the north, up in Stormont. Nothing's going to benefit Irish football, Martin. That's the problem. And I said this, and when this was announced, Leo Varadkar turned around and said, "Oh, this is fantastic. Typical politician, fantastic, a great opportunity to show off for world-class facilities." Really? One stadium. And then, about 6 weeks later, the FAI quantified the amount that they need to get football in this country up to scratch, €1 billion. That shows you how clueless the powers that be, how clueless they are when it comes to football. We had it with Shane Ross. John Mulaney's a great man. Everything's fine. Yeah. I've never heard any protests when the banner's been fucking taken off by stewards. There's protests in Denmark. That's fantastic. Shea Stefan. Oh no, I don't want anybody involved with you know. And then poor Noel Mooney, kind of because of those comments he made a few years previous, and he was taking a good man in my opinion, Noel Mooney. But it's nonsense, Martin. It's not going to benefit football in this country. It's going to be great. Yeah, we're going to have people going out, maybe going to matches. If we don't qualify automatically, if we don't qualify at all for it, it's going to be absolutely pointless, except for the coffers of the economy. Now, unless something's put in place where the government turned around and said, all right, I tell you what, here's a few bob from this. We're going to throw it over there and we're going to put it in the grassroots. We have one stadium and it's already purpose-built. We do not have facilities in Ireland to host a major tournament or to have a bigger piece of a major tournament. We do not have enough hotels. We do not have a metro system for the Dublin airport. We do not have connections all over the country. You know, nothing's going to change. You'd want something. When England went for the World Cup, you know, Stadium MK was another tier was added onto it, and you know, they polished up the stadiums and they improved the infrastructure, because that's what it does. You're going to get none of that in Ireland. And I'm sorry, the only people that are going to benefit is the GAA. So I'm not at all excited by it at all. Unless we qualify automatically, then fair enough. But
yeah, I just think it's an international tournament. It's 5 years time. You know, I think, you know, this team, Stephen Kenny, will have peaked by then, won't we? Stephen Kenny's still in the job, and you know, Sammy Szmodics is still to be capped. At what age? 33.
Queen Geller still on the bench at Liverpool.
And James McLean has retired twice.
Yeah, he's come in to replace James McLean. Yeah, I know.
No, I think, you know, I for what our involvement will be, I think it's good to be part of it. And I think, we can host a game. We can host games. We can host Euro finals, as we're going to be doing this year as well. So it can happen. You can do it without the infrastructure, in a sense that, we don't need transport links to the south because there's no games down there. So that's not going to change. That won't be a legacy from it.
No, it's not legacy from it.
No, but some government funding will probably be released for it because, Ireland, the Football Association of Ireland are showing that there's still a relative, just by getting in bed with England, basically, they are an important nation footballing, even though we don't qualify for tournaments.
This is where,
otherwise, I think if you're not in it with them, you're just set aside like, little Ireland.
I get that. I get that, but it just gives them an opportunity, Martin, to paper over the cracks. Like straight away, Lee Ragger, our world-class facilities. What world-class facilities?
Yeah,
one stadium.
That is we know what
but that's what I'm talking about. They haven't got a clue.
Yeah,
they don't know. The FAI were right to go to quantify it and go, we need £1 billion, please. We need £1 billion. Well, 700 something, but let's be honest, through interest, through inflation, it'll be about £1 billion. Now, the only thing is, because what's really, really destroying the FAI at the moment is the debt from the stadium. Now, if they make, let's say, a few billion from that, from football, if the government turn around and go, right, here you go, here's the rest of the stadium debt cleared off, here's your debt, write down. You use that surplus that you now have, because the FAI make good money, they make a very good turnover, it's just they're crippled with that. Now, to be fair, they have got it down. That's different. Then they can finally put those structures in place for the grassroots to develop the game and then actually get money out to the League of Ireland clubs and develop the infrastructure and the stadiums around the country, because it needs it. It just needs it. And then they can put that money into the League of Ireland. That's the only way I can see.
And that has to happen though, and that's what I'm saying. If you don't host a tournament, but if you don't host a tournament, you're definitely not going to have that. So at least if you do, you can actually put the pressure on. Actually, we are hosting, or we've hosted a tournament here. We've hosted European finals. We need to get our act together now, because otherwise we are going to fall further behind, and there's no football basically. That's it.
Was it the under 19s? Was it, or the under 19s Euros or something like that? Slovenia had hosted as well. Anyway, it's an interesting one, but we're going to see that tomorrow. That will be ratified unless somebody comes out and I don't know, does. With a last minute bid, we'll see what happens. But I can't see us losing that. We're going to move it on. Actually, you know what, Martin? I'm pulling a fast one on you here. We have This Week Back in the Day. I didn't tell you about this at the top of the podcast. Hold on. Where is it? Here we go. So today is the 24th anniversary of one of the most heartbreaking moments in Irish football, where on the 9th of October 1999, Ireland were 1-0 up in Skopje against Macedonia, and they were at the top of a group that contained Yugoslavia and Croatia, and we were through. We were 13 seconds away from qualifying, winning the group, and then we conceded a corner, and then Goran Straversky stepped up and hit an absolute bullet of a header and condemned Ireland to the playoffs, where eventually we went out to Turkey. I posted this on Facebook, actually. Earlier on, and did the whole on this day, Martin, in 1999. So I said, look, here it goes, and explained the whole thing. So I just said, look, it's a safe place, Facebook. Not Twitter, but it's a safe place. I want to hear your stories. And I'm going to share my story, Martin, and I'm going to ask you your one. My story was, my granddad told me to stop crying and man up. And as I did say, he was a World War II vet, so fair enough. And he also banned me from watching football downstairs in the kitchen for a third time that year, because we used to watch the football together, and then I got too boisterous, and he kicked me out. He didn't like that, probably from PTSD from World War II. The first one that year was actually the Champions League final. Obviously United and Bayern Munich, and I was just graciously, they were all cheering for United. I just graciously applauded Bayern Munich's early opener, and they didn't like that. I was classy about the whole thing, as you can imagine. And then the second was David Schuker, when he got an injury time winner in Zagreb in the same group, when we were seconds away from knocking him out of the competition. I actually watched it upstairs, but that just kind of, I think, exasperated the band, because I don't want that fucking idiot down there. Where did you watch that game? Were you at that? Were you over there?
No, I wasn't. No, I was at the Champions League final, 99. Get that in there.
Oh,
No, I wasn't at that. But yeah, I remember watching it on TV and just being, like, just so disappointed we were there, basically, weren't we? And looking forward to it.
Great team as well, then.
And just the shock of it, really. Didn't really know anything about Macedonia, and just one of those famous nights in Irish football history for the wrong reasons. But
13 seconds. Just for anybody watching this that doesn't remember that, like Nick, I wasn't even born. 13 seconds from winning the group. With Yugoslavia, who were a fine team, who actually eventually would win the group, and Croatia would go out. Croatia had just finished third at the previous summer's World Cup. Šuker, Ilić, Boban, Boksic, fantastic team. Although, to be fair, they're getting on a little bit, I suppose. Just a quality side. And we beat them 2-0 at home, and, we had the last minute winner. But absolutely devastating. Just asked for some of the comments here. Fergus Maloney, I remembered it. My heart stopped when he scored with 13 seconds left. Michael Connaughton at ALSAA, don't know what that is, celebrating a May's 21st proper night dampener. Jesus, that wouldn't be a good night to be at a 21st. Shane O'Leary watched the match in an Irish pub in Miami. Heartbreaking stuff. Gareth Quigley, I'll never forget that match in a pub with my mates. We were all steaming afterwards. Kerry Grace, I remember that we just sat back and camped in our own half for 10 minutes prior to that goal and fighting pressure. It was always going to come. Best form of defence against rubbish opposition is attack, and we didn't. That's very true, actually, Martin, isn't it? I think Kerry's spot on there. Well done, Kerry. That was always something that we did unmixed, wasn't it? We would sit back. Rory Kerry, big shame here. I was 20 and playing in a band. That was the post-match entertainment in the Lakedale Village Inn. Atmosphere wasn't great. Kenneth Mara watched it in my then girlfriend's house. She had no interest whatsoever in football. After the equaliser went in, I nearly put my boot through the television. She asked me, was it an important match? Glad you gave her the elbow. Somebody from Croatia asked me about stock options, but it's in Croatian, so I don't know what they're saying. McDonough St. Dahi, I blame Owen Hand. He was commentating on RT radio and said, "We're there now," when Alan Kelly had the ball in his hands in injury time. Also, the curse of TV3. That was it, wasn't it? It was the curse of TV3. What channel did you watch it on? Channel 5?
I can't remember what it was. What was it on? Was it on? It was
TV3. Well, TV3 had all the away games.
Yeah, or whatever it was. I think it might have been one of them. Well, it's probably the dodgy box.
Dodgy box was there. Okay. Sean Murphy kicked a small table across the sitting room and got thrown out of the house by my ma to cool off. And the last one I'll read out is Hubert McLaughlin. Very rare occasion where Dennis Irwin loses his temper. Mick McCarthy had us in good shape. 2 playoff losses and 1 win to take to the World Cup. Give our right arm for such like these days. Yeah, it was a quality side. I remember it well. I was absolutely devastated. Well, we're approaching the hour mark. It's gone on a bit longer than I thought. We got some comments coming in there, Martin. Should we get to them? Should we speak to our people?
Yeah, this is the favourite part of the pod for me.
This is. And by the way, we've still got time, guys, to get any questions you have for Martin and myself to get if you're still with us. I'm enjoying this, actually. 2 weeks away. Wasn't very well. And also lots of work, real life getting in the way, as Martin said. We're all a bit mad busy, but I've missed this. I really have. I've missed you too, Martin.
Thanks. And now we're going on a lovely trip to Portugal to look forward to. And do let us know in the comments if you're traveling or what your plans are for the games.
Yep, tell us. Yep, and we will be there. So say hello. I know Daryl. A lot of you guys, actually, a lot of my friends, my real friends, Martin, are coming over as well. I do love you, really. They're also staying over as well. So we will be around. And we will be around this time. See, what happened in France was in Paris. And what we forgot is that the Parisians are fucking weird. And they are weird. And they basically, and I got very ill. And we didn't really have the time or the energy to interview people. Because Paul Martin was you were super glued. Yeah, doing the collection. And your man's a right arsehole in that pub, wasn't he?
Yeah.
No, monsieur. No. No coffee.
Clear the till.
Yeah, absolute. Fucking anyway, but we will be around this time, and we will be chatting to you guys. Daryl, if you're there, I know you're watching. Daryl will be there. You give us a handout.
Just before we come on to the comments as well, I think it's important that we mention the women's national team. they've said that the latest news on there is Eileen Gleeson's going to be retained as the manager just for the Nations League. So some important information. I don't know why I thought of Eileen Gleeson there, Dave, when I was looking at you. I'm sorry, I didn't.
It's because you fancy me and Eileen, isn't it? That's the only reason. Cheeky bastard. It's the light. I have a ring light. I'm not this pale in person. Right? I'm probably actually going to get heat stroke off the ring light. Right. But yeah, we will be in Gibraltar. Just in case anyone's watching this and thinking of actually getting a last minute flight to the game, it is actually not in Gibraltar. It's in Faro. So don't. It's in Portugal. Don't fly to Gibraltar, whatever you do. Anyhow, right. Daryl O'Connor, Story Daryl, good man. We hope to see you in Gibraltar. We got Darren. I'm not even going to try and pronounce your second name, Darren. If you could give me the phone. I think I'm a bit rusty at this again. I think you've given me the phonetic of this. But we got Darren, who's a Bows fan. Congratulations, Bohemians. You are in the cup final against my old local team, St. Pat's. Hope he shows Kenny what he can do. More importantly, hope Kenny gives him the chance. That, I presume, is on... That's going to be on John Scales, actually, I presume, because we played a bit of audio.
John Scales?
Liam Scales.
No. Breaking news in the Premiership. John Scales
Welsh
has transferred from England and come out of retirement. And now it's going to be played by... I mean, poor Stephen Kenny. I mean, if he was listening to this, he's going, what hope have I got when people are asking me to pick John Scales?
Oh, he was English, yeah. I thought he was Welsh for some weird reason. Shut up, Martin. That's why. Well, I presume Liam Scales. Hope he shows Kenny what he could do. More importantly, hope Kenny gives him the chance. Absolutely. I mean, what's Kenny got to lose? What has Kenny got to lose? And he's the most informed centre-half at the moment. Daryl O'Connor. The Portuguese airline we're flying with offered us a bid for an upgrade to first class. We were too slow and missed it, unfortunately. Daryl. That's unfortunate. Yeah, they do a lot of those. Don't know if you've had that, Martin. I had that going to Tbilisi 4 years ago, which is actually around this time, 4 years ago. And I got an upgrade. I bid €80 for an upgrade to business class.
Nice.
And yeah, it was really nice. I remember I was in Athens. I was getting ready to write all my questions out to interview Noel Mooney. And in the hotel, and I remember I just ate, I don't know, it was cold food. I just kept eating it, and my laptop broke. And then I waddled onto business class, and then he handed me a menu for like a 5-course meal. I was like, oh my Jesus, I'm on a Greek airline, so they'd probably throw me out the plane if I refuse food. So yeah, surprised they didn't put me in the fucking check-in in the hold underneath the plane. It was so heavy. Good. Yeah, that's schoolboy error there, Daryl. You got to be quick in those. Daryl O'Connor again. Martin clarified you won't be in the same room, Dave. I hope not. But yeah, hopefully, I'm hoping we get to do a live stream from the pool. I want to be like your man Richardson in Italy. You know, or maybe we could do from a coffee shop. We have like an Italian newspaper.
There'll be a lot of fun. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna do some stuff. Yeah,
we are. Well, we're gonna do some stuff, Martin. Eh?
No, we're gonna do some football-related stuff. Yeah, but we're looking forward to
Balls-related stuff
fans as well. Yeah. So
okay, yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, no, we're gonna have some fun. And if you do see us around, say hello. Don't worry, I won't bite. Only Martin. Not right, Martin. Yeah. Oh God, I hope your missus isn't watching. Actually, more importantly, I hope your wife, not your wife, I hope your mother isn't watching. Darren again, Bows to win the cup. Good man, Darren. Barry Doyle, great to see Liam Scales included, best player on the field in the most recent Old Firm. Yes, he was in cracking form, Liam Scales, and he deserves to be rewarded. He has to be rewarded. He has to be given some time. He has to be given a chance. Break the monopoly. Daryl O'Connor again. I was saying defensive Bazuna conceding outside the box. Travers, I think Gallagher also did. I'd probably put that down to tactics over the goalkeeper. There's a lot to be said there. I think we've had one of the things I've said, I think we've all said here, Martin, is that they're not aggressive enough. They don't press enough. They're not fast enough. And yeah, they're not nipping at the opposition. And I think that's led to a lot of goals. You know, you got time for... If you're given time for a shot outside the box, a lot of these guys are pros, you know, top internationals. They're going to put in the top. It's going to be top bins, as they say, in your part of the world. That's what you say. Is it top bins?
That's just what it is. I think back to goals we have conceded. Yeah, it's that. So I'm sure they've worked on it though. Like I think Kylie's a fantastic coach as well. They do a good job, I think, with the goalkeepers.
Yeah, but if the midfield isn't pressing,
yeah, exactly.
It all falls down. Martin Shields, has anyone come in with an offer for Kelleher? I think West Ham or something like that would be a good move. Brighton, someone who gets full games all season, and he could be top notch. He could be. I think Brentford. There was talk of Brentford because Brentford sold their goalkeeper, didn't they, to Arsenal, Raya, and nothing has happened. Really, nothing has happened, and it's unfortunate because he was going to get a run in the cups. Because Liverpool aren't struggling as much as they were last season. Very unlucky, actually, on the weekend, and of course robbed the previous weekend. But no, I've heard nothing in. He has to get a move. He cannot be 26 sitting on the bench. It's ridiculous. That argument, I don't care what anyone says, oh, well, he's learning from the best. No, not when you're 25. Not when you're 25. Darrell O'Connor. Scales has been outstanding this season for Celtic. I'd love to see him play one of the games. Interesting nonsense. Kenny's last stand. If we lose to the Greeks, then it's definitely curtains. I think we're past that in Mr. Nonsense on our YouTube channel. Well, do you reckon we're past that now? We're already.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I think this will be is I think we've got a good young squad, and I think what you'll find is it's all about the Greek game for me. I said it last week as well. If we get a result against Greece, we'll then do something that we haven't done. We'll beat Gibraltar anyway. 6 points from the camp. It'd be very, very positive going into that Holland game. Progress would have been made. He can claim that, we got 6 points. We haven't done that. A very difficult. Then it becomes apparent that it was a very difficult group trying to get out against Holland and France. But we did turn around the result against Greece, which that's the one that's really condemned him, I think, with many fans because we seemed a bit clueless that night. And now I think that's why it's so important for me. It is a last roll of the dice. What I mean for him is that, if we do lose to Greece, it's over. But I can see that's why that game's the most important.
Well, we'll see. Darrell O'Connor, Mick McCarthy done an interview with Sam Allardyce on no tippy-tappy football. He says he'd happily manage us again and also zero chance of me taking that Rangers role in Mick's legendary voice. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he did write to Rangers, didn't he, when he took over in 96 to see if he had any Irish player. He did what Jack did. Looking for any diaspora players, Irish diaspora. Mick McCarthy, the thing is with Mick, right? If you went back to Mick McCarthy from the 90s, where you'd need something like that with the young players playing a good style of football. People still think, I had this argument with Martin, people still think that because of Mick's last incarnation as Ireland manager, where he played burst football and was very defensive and, he's just trying to get us to the Euros and he couldn't develop anybody. They think that's what he just did. And that's what he did at Ipswich. That's what he did for parts of Wolves. But he actually used to play good attacking football with good attacking players with Ireland. But do you think he's too long in the tooth now? Do you think, or would you?
It would not. That we've said as well. There's not a lot of options out there in a way. Money will come into it, and it's not very outrageous to kind of suggest it. To be honest, and and look, whatever we think of how Stephen Kenny's got on, like we have got some really good, promising players now. It's very similar in a sense to when Mick took on the team previously after Jack. That we've got a really good young forward coming through now, like the most exciting striker I think around in England. Evan Ferguson. We've got it's there now a little bit. We've got some no nonsense centre backs who are very, very good. Collins, Omar Abadeli. Imagine Mick working with them. I know the game's changed a bit. To when Mick played, but I think it could happen. But I think
it has to be. But we can't go back to the trash of 2019 because that was rubbish.
Yeah. And look, then I think he didn't really.
He didn't have an opportunity. To be fair,
he went in. He went.
Get us to the Euros. Don't care how you do it, and to be fair to Mick. But if he came in, it's right, and you got some good young coaches around him, and you use him to motivate. And you got the old kind of Mick from the early 2000s. Excuse me, sorry. But who knows? It's just he did go a bit strange with selections. I thought at club level anyway, but we'll see what happens. Patrick O'Brien, delighted for Sammy. About time he made it. John Muckian, 4-2-3-1 on the way with Sammy in the attacking midfield role. Ogbeni on the right and on the left, Ferguson up top. Interesting, but he won't do that. He's going to play 5 at the back. No, he's play 5 at the back. No. Brandon Walsh, Kenny said he preferred to pick Callum Robinson in the squad ahead of Szmodics because Robinson knows the system. It's madness. What system? The system that loses almost every game. If you have a better opinion, you just pick him. Option, you just pick him. Some of the things Kenny comes out with is baffling when you consider how positive he said he would be when he got the job. I think Brandon, I'm having that, Brandon saying there. I think that's very true, Brandon. I think Kenny has at times betrayed his beliefs. You know, he said we were kind of promised we were going to get rid of like all the dead wood, and then he's hung on to the dead wood like some of the pros. In my opinion, he's held on to a lot of the pros to kind of keep him on side. My opinion, by the way, which I'm entitled to. And there's been times where you're thinking, well, now's the time, you know, in terms of the way he plays the game on the pitch, i.e., you're 2-1 down against Holland with 10 minutes to go. And, you know, now's the time to stop the tippy-tappy nonsense. Route one. And he doesn't do it. And I just think he just contradicts himself at certain points and he sticks to his beliefs. I think it's just his timing's completely wrong, Martin. What do you reckon?
Yeah, we've been baffled by the squads and stuff, and sometimes how he tries to justify it. Again, I go back to that Malta game. He was a man under pressure then. Should have made changes. Should have treated it like an international friendly and had confidence.
Young squad,
and that's what he's doing. And he didn't do that. He was so desperate. He had to get the result because he knew that the knives would be drawn if he didn't. And we scraped to a 1-0 win.
Yeah, and I actually did nothing for his. Affected the team worse, in my opinion. John Muckian, Travers, Manning, Scales, Collins, Festy, Brown, Cullen, Sammy, Ogbeni, and Ferguson. John, that is his team. You give Travis a go? Why not? Why not? He's on decent form. He's never been allowed to atone for what happened in Serbia a couple of years ago, but I think Bazunu is number one. Graham, Conor Ronan is a quality player. Physicality is his weakness. Yeah, there's a lot of players there. You know what always gets me? You know, you see a player who's obviously skilled, but they're very thin and you don't beef up. And they're obviously they're a flair player or anything like that. The only player I've ever seen who was obviously too skinny to beef up, do you know who it was? Ronaldo. No. Cristiano Ronaldo. He was a whippet when he came in. He was getting bullied off the ball, and he turned himself into a tank. I think it was the game against Millwall. The FA Cup final, was it? And he took his thing off, and you see a big barrel neck on him. Because you need that to be at the top level. But it's a very good point there, Graham. I don't know why they don't say, right, I'm getting bullied off the ball. I need to toughen up, get a personal trainer. That's down to the player, by the way, not the club.
Yeah. Ronaldo did that. I read a good book. I can't remember the guy's name, but the strength and conditioning guy at Man United who worked with Ronaldo, and that was it. So.
Yeah,
Mick Clegg, that was his name.
That's the one. Not Nick Clegg.
Mick Clegg.
Not Nick Clegg.
No, not the lad there. Who's
politics?
Politics, yeah.
Deputy Prime Minister, yeah. The coalition. God. Stephen Ring. Evening, lads. Evening, Stephen. Was actually surprised to see Sammy Szmodics call up. Really thought he'd call up Andy Moran after taking him up a big way at the press conference. Sorry, talking up a big way at the press conference. In saying that, I could see him being called up to the Luxembourg match after the under-21s play. Yeah, that's true, actually. They were... And the press were asking about Andrew Moran over Sammy Szmodics, which I thought was baffling anyway. But yeah, no, fair point. Martin Fitzpatrick, any news on Tom Cannon? Well, Martin, he does play for Leicester, and he's gone for big money. Well, considering the level he's at, Leicester are doing well. They're on top of the championship by about 4 points, I think, making their way back to the Premier League. Now, you can answer this one, Martin. Jim Crawford was asked about him. Wasn't he on the press conference? There was no news about Tom Cannon?
No, he was just going to talk about just that there were still ongoing talks and stuff. Nothing really happened, as far as I'm aware. So, and we just said if that's the case, they've got to just move on, haven't they?
I think so.
That's ridiculous.
I think
we
so.
Can't be waiting for people.
Yeah, I suppose you didn't write an article on it, man. Graham. Robbie taking that 200 grand wage for doing nothing really damaged him. I agree with that, Graham. Yeah, that has damaged his reputation. Now, I know, Martin, you rightly said that he did nothing wrong. He was given a contract and the FAI had to honour it. But yes, I think considering the situation they were in, it was a unique situation. But then when you see the picture of him with John Delaney in London with Louis Figo, you understand a bit more why he didn't say, do you know what, lads, I'm not happy about this. You know, you don't want me part of the coaching setup. That's fine, which is fine, by the way, because if Stephen Kenny doesn't want him on his coaching staff, he doesn't have to have him, and he shouldn't. You shouldn't be forced to work with people you don't want to work with. What you achieve. However, he should have said, I'm not happy about it, lads, but here you go. Here's the money back. Or I'm going to donate it to charity or something like that is what he should have done. And I think he would have come away the bigger man and the better man, but he didn't. He took the money, which he's right to do. Well, he was in his right to do, but
we'll always remember it. That's the thing. Irish fans are not going to forget that.
We don't forget.
And down the line, you know, even if he was a really, really successful manager, there were some people who would, if he was ever coming for the senior job, people would go, "Well, do you remember when he did that?"
Yeah.
And that's why it shouldn't have happened or been let go like that to come out in the public domain that happened.
Unless financial issues we're not aware of, and that's fine. That's not our business. But yeah, you just don't do that. Anyway, moving on. Patrick O'Brien, YouTube. Do we know what Robbie did with those wages? Did he take the money, donate it, invest in grassroots? No, I think he just pocketed it, if I'm honest. Someone else.
I know that he has given money to clubs in Dublin and things like that. I've heard that from different people. But you know, look, I'm sure that Robbie has invested money back into Irish football in some ways and does a lot of things for local community clubs and all that kind of thing. I'm sure he does. But at the same time, he did take the money, as far as we're aware, contractually, you know, entitled to. So
that's something, you know, when people give money to charity and they don't talk about it, or it gets leaked, wink, wink. You know, that's one of those situations where you should actually talk about it if you are giving that money to charity and say, look, I'm not happy with the situation, but I've given the money to grassroots, I've given them to clubs because that's where it should go. I think people will say, do you know what, I'll be fair play to you. Fair play. And he has given money to charity, so, you know, but yeah. John Muckin, that's just a few new pitches. That's on the Euro 2028 legacy that Martin's thinks we're going to have. Patrick O'Brien, grassroots even. Oh, that's I shouldn't have put that up. Darrell O'Connor, Euro 28 does nothing for me personally. Fair enough, it brings investment to the economy, etc. But on a personal level, nothing. It'd be worse if we're not even there. I'd want to pull out like Euro 2020 if we're not there. I mean, not going to happen. As I said, Darrell, and I said to yourself, Martin, if there's some deal where the government say, right, here's a cut from that football has brought in that you've helped run with UEFA or whatever, there you go, and you use it to clear the debt off. It'd be fantastic. And then any money, the future monies that comes in, goes into grassroots, and you know what? It'd be brilliant. Let's see what happens. Darrell Connor again, only thing that excites me is the potential of a mini tournament for automatic spots. That's right, yeah. Although all will become clear tomorrow when it's all ratified. Graham, Euro 2028 is ridiculous given the current state of our stadia. Amen. Nurek, you think Euro 2028 is bad? Wait till you see FIFA's plans for the 2030 and 2034 World Cups. Yeah, 2030, that is the one where it's going to start off in Uruguay, isn't it? And goes to Morocco and Spain.
Yeah, and then 6 hosts and things like that. And mad. But I mean, there's no fault for the fans, is there? But they don't look. Interestingly, Euro 2024 tickets went on sale last week. You know, you can apply for them now. I know we probably won't be in it. But yeah, but when you look at the costs, like you can apply now, and actually one of the fan ticket level is, I forget what the phrase they've got, UEFA, but it's like not affordable. It's something like the cheapest ones. They're still €60, but like they go all the way up to like hundreds of euros for tickets. These tournaments are not for fans anymore. They're bucket list things now. That's it. And that has actually spilled over. You know, I don't want to go off on a tangent about Man United and the Champions League with Galatasaray last week, but there was big uproar about that, about Ireland fan, about Galatasaray fans in the Old Trafford sections of the stadium, and how do they get tickets and things. And it's probably worth mentioning in the context that we're playing Holland in November We've had 3,300 applications, the FAI, for 2,500 tickets. Ireland fans will be in the home Dutch end at that game. But we know how to behave ourselves. But it can go wrong. But like that's what I'm saying. The point about these ticket sales, these clubs, these UEFA, when they're selling these tickets for games, they know they've got fans who are coming who don't mind spending serious money. Like I said earlier, they've either sold tickets for Man United's B team, basically turning up to play in a pre-season friendly recently because they played in Old Trafford the day before. So crazy, but they know that they've got fans who will go and spend stupid money on tickets. So it's not approaching a person who goes in, week out.
No, it's not for the common man like you.
Yeah.
Darrell O'Connor. In next year's your Nations League, who would you like? Pot 1, Austria, Czechia, England, Wales. Pot 2, Finland, Ukraine, Iceland, Norway. Pot 4, Georgia, Greece, Turkey, Kazakhstan. We are in pot 3. Oh, good man there. Who would you like out of that? I know who I'd like.
I know who the FAI would want. They want England. They want Norway for Haaland. They want England, and
I want to say money.
Would want they want the money teams who are going to bring fans and
Ukraine. I've never been to Poland.
Yeah, I think. Oh God, let me think. Well, yeah, look, England would be handy, wouldn't it? Travel.
That'd be great. We could actually we could do another road trip.
Cost of living crisis. England.
On the tube going up.
Iceland would be expensive, but been there before.
Iceland would love to go to Iceland.
Yeah, Iceland I think would be good. I've been to Norway, so Finland haven't been there. So, Poland and Georgia was a good one.
Georgia,
Poland, I've been to Poland.
Oh yeah, I don't want to go. I don't want to go back to Greece again. No offense, Greece.
No, the Greece is the one. No, we don't want them.
No, Turkey or Kazakhstan. I don't know. That's all a little bit. It's all a bit explodey around the Kazakhstan, around that part of the world, isn't it?
Yeah.
Turkey be interesting, but Jesus Christ, their fans are mental. Lovely people, but when it comes to football, they go crazy. Probably Kazakhstan.
As well as when is it? It's September, isn't it? So it's September, October, kind of November. So
kind of friendly.
I mean, look, and it's weird that we're talking about this, obviously, in the wake of James McLean's announcement of his retirement. I mean, you think back to that trip to Austria was brilliant. Great.
That was today.
Again, one of the really good nights. Really good.
No,
nights.
It was when. Yeah.
I mean, there's loads of anniversary stuff today, isn't there? I think it's 8 years on, isn't it, from the Shane Long's goal?
Shane Long's goal, that was yesterday. Oh, that fucking idiot again on the page, right? You should kind of go back. He goes, this guy, coming around to simplicity and playing to her strengths, Lansdowne Road, about, the Shane Long goal against Germany. Like, planet are you on, mate? It was the anniversary. Just one of he's the guy that said, I'm a Muppet. I'm a Muppet. I mean, he's not wrong, but it's like, you're a Muppet because you kept Stephen Kenny in a job. Because, we should be playing tippy-tappy football. He's fucking just, I don't know what planet he's on. But anyway, going back, where are we? Stephen Ring. Maybe the money raised during the Euros might mean he will qualify. Or, sorry, will finish. I will start that again. Stephen Ring.Maybe the money raised during the Euros might mean they will finally finish the away end and put an upper tier on it. I don't think the residents around that Havelock Terrace is a Havelock end.
Yeah, it's not needed either. Not needed.
No, I think. Do you know what? I really like Lansdowne Road. I think I'm not just because the page, but I actually do like that stadium. It's really nice. It's actually one of the nicest stadiums I've been in. Genuinely. Darrell again, very tough teams in pot 4, and if we finish third, we go into a relegation playoff with second place in League 2. And if we finish second, do we go into a playoff for first place? Don't we? With other yeah. So it's all. I like the Nations League, and I also got criticised for liking the Nations League in the last article, saying the Nations League because Kenny didn't get a lot of when I was giving out about November, not going with a relative, with a fringe squad. and because the Nations League, he didn't have a chance because he didn't get many friendlies. And someone said, "Oh, Nations League is a lot of bollocks." So they're just glorified friendlies. When I called them glorified friendlies in a previous article 2 years ago, one guy criticized me for that, saying I was reading your article till you said that. Nonsense. Well, can't win, lads. Anyway, Darrell Connor, nice away day in pot 2 bar Ukraine. Well, Poland. It'll be Poland. I don't know. Being Wudge. Interesting nonsense. Some great potential trips to Nations League, hoping for either Georgia or Kazakhstan away. Been to Georgia, beautiful city, lovely people, but Kazakhstan, just want to, knock it off the out list. Bernard Phantom, was that the game? A disappointing memory. Oh, that's Skopje.
Yeah.
Bernard. Jesus, yeah, I can imagine. John Muckian, what's the debt? It sounded, why is the FAI debt? It was 65 million.
It's down to 46, I think, isn't it?
Down to 46.
I think 40, so, about that. That's
44
around
million.
That.
44 million. Yeah. So they've had 19 million since Jonathan Hill's got it down to 19 million. Now, to be fair, I mean, the finances of the FAI were an absolute shambles because he kept finding all these little bombs, didn't they? These little mines, where they had this deal with Mike Ashley and he had this and all these crazy. So they've got rid of all of that, to be fair to them. And the finances are doing okay. So I'm not being funny, Martin, right? 44 million. What's that to the Irish government? Especially, let's say they make £1 billion, right? What's that to the Irish government? Just get that down, get the debt down, get the grassroots up, let them do it properly. Anyway, so yeah, John Muckian, 44 million, down from 65. Graham, the only thing I'm excited for in the next 2 games is seeing Andy Moran start in Gibraltar. Could do. Lots to play for in the ready money round. Bernard Phantom again in Dublin on Friday. We'll swear Faro going to Amsterdam for the dead rubber. We'll be in Amsterdam as well. Well, I will be. Mark, will you be in Amsterdam?
Bernard's a Irish London supporter.
Good man, Bernard. Stephen Ring, Dave, regarding players bulking up, some guys take it too far. Prime example, Romelu Lukaku at United. No, I do agree. Some players do, but obviously it gets to a point where if it starts to affect your mobility, then that's a problem. But if physicality is an issue, you should be able to hire. I'm pretty sure you'd be able to hire a personal trainer. Yeah, I don't understand what you don't. Last couple of comments coming in here now. Darrell Connor, yeah, like the Nations League himself, we just need to be better in it because ultimately you're playing teams your own level, whereas Euro and World Cup qualifiers are different seedings. Yep, fair point. Stephen Ring, bring on Turkey. Can do 2 birds with 1 stone and get the hair done when I'm there.
And the turkey teeth. There you go.
Turkey teeth. I need them. Well, thank you very much for that statement. And thank you very much, guys, for your comments. It's good to be back. We are going to be around it's an international week, and this is when we really step it up at the Green Machine. So just to give you a reminder of, actually, I'm going to play the sexy music. Wait for it. There we go. So Thursday, 12th, we are live with the Greek preview on the 13th, and I'll be in Dublin for that, actually, Martin. You won't be, will you?
No.
Of course, we are live for the post match against Greece from Lansing Road. Martin will be on that with me. Sunday the 15th, Greece review, Gibraltar preview. That will be live. Martin and I will be live in Gibraltar. Wink, wink. Monday the 16th, pre-match, post-match Gibraltar. Don't mind the graphic. That will be live. I hope it is anyway, because it'll be in the stadium in Portugal. With Wi-Fi permitting. By the way, Wi-Fi permitting, depends what we're going to have there in Portugal. And then on the 17th, we'll be back from Portugal. Martin and I, same flight coming back as well. We will have a window review, time pending, but probably around the 9 o'clock mark. Martin, do you reckon about 9 o'clock?
Yeah, 9 o'clock, yep.
Yeah, about 9 o'clock then anyway. But we will be there. I'll be in Dublin. Martin won't. But, if you see, say hello, by all means. And when we're in Faro next week as well, do say hello. We will be actually going out and talking to some fans and getting your opinion. But I can't wait for it anyway. But it's all to play for. Well, not really, because we're kind of out. But it's all to play for us, Martin, really, isn't it? Yeah. With the Green Machine. But anything you want to come up and say hello to us, we will be talking to you guys. And yeah, just, say hello. Chill out. Buy us a drink. Coffee. And a pint from Martin. The pint you didn't get in Paris. one of many pints I didn't get in bars. Anyway, guys, we're going to leave it there. It's getting on. It's 10:30 at night. We'll see you on the next one. We will see you on Thursday. Actually, hopefully it won't be too jet lagged on the flight. Yeah. Right, we're going to leave it there, guys. As always, you can follow us on the Facebook page. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. If you haven't done so already, hit us over, cheeky little subscribe over on YouTube. And you can head over to the Green Machine website. That's greenmachinepodcast.com, greenmachinepodcast.com. Thank you very much. Good night and God bless.